Hello and welcome, my name is Parky and today we're playing some more Plague Inc. Evolved. This official scenario is the global warming scenario. Huge releases of greenhouse gases significantly accelerate global warming and raise the global surface temperature over 6 degrees centigrade, as well as triggering other climate change events and flooding of low-lying countries. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. So what I wanted to play as today was the Neurax worm. This is mostly because we haven't actually played as a Neurax worm for absolutely ages. And also because I've unlocked a few new things in here. I've got a couple of these, Xerophile and Hydrophile. And I think this is arid climates, which will be quite useful today. We're also going to go for maybe... could go for Aquasite, I suppose, or chance of plague spreading by air. Considering the Neurax worm already spreads by the air with the Trojan Plains thing, do we actually need this? Probably be more useful spreading by land, wouldn't it? Let's go for Terracite. Fine, whatever, I think I've made up my mind. And we're going to go for the ATP boost as well. Right, so let's get into this today. We're going to go on normal again because I'm an absolute loser. I'm going to call it frying pan just because the game made a funny joke. And why not finish the joke off? Welcome to the global warming scenario. You're a new Neurax worm. To win you must evolve and spread across the world, wiping out all humans in the ultimate plague. Oh yeah. Remember, the world has changed. Use the country information screen to see the country climate and demographics. Now, because we're going for an arid country, I think, is this something we want? Hot country, arid and urban. I was thinking of China, mostly because they have a really high population density, and they sort of fit all of the things that we've given our Bargo boost to, as it were, because it's an arid country. Okay, so let's first of all go straight into here to remind myself what this looks like, because I know that this is completely different. So we've got Contertia locomotion, we've also got eggs and genetic swap, and we've got a load of symptoms. I'm probably not going to touch the symptoms for a little while. We've got hot and cold, drug resistance, and Trojan Plains. So I think what we want to go for first is probably eggs. This is going to increase the infectiousness. We're in a hot country, so let's think about that. Probably go for insect 2, logically. And then after that we might go for rats, but I'm not sure. I mean, we might stick to other stuff entirely. I mean, I suppose one thing that we could do is actually go for eggs 2 next, because that would still increase the infection. And also, I like the idea of eggs being spewed into the atmosphere and sort of landing on people's scalps, and little worms going in your brain. That's horrible, but it's going to help us long term. So let's speed this up. You've successfully evolved Frying Pan. Maybe could have given it a better name in retrospect, but it's okay. Frying Pan is a Neurax worm. Undiscovered for thousands of years, now humans have entered its natural habitat and given it the means to spread. Good job, humans, evolving to the point where the Neurax worm can infect you. One thing I always realise is I never actually zoom in on the map. I suppose there's not really much point in zooming in, it just looks very pretty when you do. A London Olympics mystery. Mystery still surrounds the decision to postpone the London Olympics. Organisers promise it will happen soon, but no real reason has been given for the change. Maybe a Neurax worm has wormed its way into one of the people's brains. I'm not sure. We'll get eggs too. Then I'm thinking just to boost the heat, because we're in a hot country. Might go for heat resistance, just to spread it around a little bit quicker. So what do we need for this? 8. Fine, so we've got heat resistance 1. And maybe just to like even further push our arid country thing, we might go for insect 2, which I think needs 19 DNA points. So we've got a little bit of waiting, but it's beginning to spread quite nicely. Hopefully with the population density of China. Mind you, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Because a load of people live in China, but a lot of it is still just empty countryside, because it's quite a large landmass. So it's high population density, but it's kind of not at the same time, if you see what I mean. Either way, I think it's probably still a good country to go with to begin with. I think the major problem we're going to face in this one is whether Greenland or New Zealand screw us over again, because that always seems to happen with this, which is not particularly helpful. So what do we need again? 19. Okay, so we only need a few more points. It's infected hundreds in China. Everyone's got little worms starting to take over their minds. And unlike when I played this the first time, I think what I'm going to try and do is go for the worm sort of worshipping thing, where everyone worships the worm. So maybe we'll go for Concertia locomotion, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it further up the tree in this? I can't really remember, but that seems to make sense to me. So that's 6 DNA points. It's also going to increase the infectivity as well, which is always very helpful. So we only need a couple more points, and then we can get this. So after that, we've got undulatory locomotion, which is going to increase the speed and range outside of the host, increasing infectiousness, which seems probably quite useful. So we only need 7 DNA points for that as well, so it's quite a cheap upgrade. Might as well go for those cheap upgrades. It's going to help us in the long term. The one thing that I'm concerned about is whether we're going to be lucky enough to get some boats going into these annoying places. That's one of the main reasons, because I'm sick of Greenland and all these other stupid little islands on the outskirts of the world screwing up my game, so I'm just going to go for... That's the reason I've gone for the mind worm, the brain worm. So now we've got that, we can get undulatory locomotion, and this unlocked... Oh, maybe this isn't what I was thinking then. But it has unlocked air and water, and I think, to be honest, air might be good, because if this spreads via spores in the air kind of thing, probably should go for air. So that's only 12 DNA points, so once we've done that, maybe, depending on how noticeable this disease is, I might put something into drug resistance. Maybe, actually, I'm thinking about this, we'll go for water. We're going to go for both of these at some point. Yeah, fine, okay, we'll go for water now. Just because I feel like water might help spread it on the land mass a bit more if everyone's drinking. Not sure if it actually is... Is that even a mechanic in the game? I know it's to do with ships, but I'm not certain whether it actually infects more people on land masses. Probably not. But I'm still gone for it anyway. We need 13 now for the air. It's more infectious than HIV, so we're having a good start. 13, come on, another bubble would be useful. There we go, we've infected Saudi Arabia now as well, so go for air 1. Then probably go for air 2 as well, just because that seems quite useful. 19 DNA points needed for that. And then I'll go for drug 1. Okay, it's actually been discovered now, which is a bit of a pain. It's done that fairly quickly, unfortunately. But let's go for drug resistance 1 now, because it's going to make it a bit harder to cure. So drug resistance 1, and then maybe we could go for... Oh, air 3, I forgot this was a thing. Increased infectivity, especially in rich and hot countries. Well, that's kind of what we're going for, so 27 for that. It's just going to take a bit of hanging around. It looks like... Is Mexico now infected? It is. I saw that boat going over there. Is this another one going towards Mexico, or is that one going to go somewhere else? Frying pan. Just another parasite. It's going to be easily cured. Scientists are throwing up their hands in dismissal. They don't believe that it's actually going to be a problem. 27. Right, okay, well, we're going to prove them wrong. Everyone's going to be worshipping the worm at the end of this. And then after this, I feel like it might be a good time to get the Trojan planes, because then we can start infecting a few more countries of our choice. It's only going to cost us 5 DNA points as well, which we've almost got instantly. So we'll do that, and then once we've got that, maybe we'll go for heat 2. Do we need more heat? I feel as though maybe we should go for cold. Well, we'll go for Greenland, because that always screws me over. Do we want heat? We'll go for cold 1 and 2 for now, and then maybe we'll think about heat 2. Might not be a necessity. 22 DNA, it seems a bit frivolous, doesn't it, to get it? But of course we might want that environmental hardening, which would be quite useful. Okay, well at least we've infected some of these more difficult countries, which is going to make things a bit easier. We need 22 DNA points. And unfortunately there is now a global cure effort which is going on, which is going to make things a bit slower. So we need 18 DNA points for the environmental hardening, which should be within our grasp fairly soon. So let's now go for the Caribbean, because I think that screwed me over in one of my previous playthroughs. So environmental hardening. Right, and now we probably want to go for some genetic hardening just to slow down that research rate, because that's starting to scare me on 5%. Not that that's particularly scary, but you know what I mean. Genetic hardening is good. And we could even go for drug resistance 2 as well, just to increase that speed of infection, or just resistance to drugs in general. Okay, so now that we've done that, I think what I'm going to do is, oh my god, where shall I send this? We could go to Canada. Canada's actually already infected. We go for this country. So we're starting to struggle going into Africa for some weird reason. The London Olympics is back on. The Olympics will begin soon despite frying pan. Those damn frying pans. It's killing all those athletes. Oh god, what's wrong with me? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to wait around for a little bit to get a few more DNA points, because I think there should be plenty to start infecting everyone. I mean, we have got cold everything, haven't we? We'll go to New Guinea just to speed that up a little bit. Actually, maybe we should have gone for some of these northern hemisphere countries, but these I think have just become infected anyway. So to be honest, I'm not too concerned. Cure frying pan is 25% complete. Well, we're going to keep an eye on it, and we're going to go for this. And now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting something to the symptoms, because we've not done any of this. So neural breach is going to cause dystonia and rapid eye blinking. So let's evolve that. It costs 1. Cerebral tendrils, increase control over the host brain. And then I suppose we could go for frontal mesh. What's this? Constriction, severity of allergic reactions to the worm. Harder to concentrate on complex work. That might be useful. But we'll go for frontal mesh because it's going to unlock more of this. And then after this we have perception jolt. And immaturity. Maybe go for immaturity because it's going to lower the level of hygiene, increase infection. And then of course we could get mania, as we're already here, inability to focus. Then we've got obsession and aggression. Now this time, I don't know whether I want to encourage people to fight each other. I think what I might try and do is take them over in terms of like making them think that we're their god, as it were. So we're going to go for obsession and devotion. Compels the host to constantly think about the worm and triggers intense rushes of pleasure. Oh dear God, we're going to go for devotion and then adoration or transcendence. Ah, here we go, treating the Neurax worm as an eternal god. We've got adoration, hijack host emotions and create desire to spread infection. We're going to go for transcendence. Here we go, so everyone who's infected is going to worship it and not want to be cured, hopefully. Reports are coming in from all over the world as an extreme obsession with collecting earthworms. Psychologists are baffled and can't explain the new craze. If only they knew. Well, this research is getting a bit higher, but we can now use all of our points pretty much to start using genetic reshuffles, which is going to hopefully give us what we need. Now, every country in the world has been infected. Australia is falling into anarchy due to frying pan no cure research can take place. What a shame. Right, well let's speed this up over here. I think we're in every country, aren't we? Research doctors all around the world are completely focused on developing a cure for frying pan. On 40%, should we do a genetic reshuffle just to slow this down even more? I think we probably should. It's about time for this. It's only going to cost us 20. And we've always got that other one there just in case we want to do it in the future, if they get a bit higher. It's only taking it down by 6%, but you know, that might be just enough to do it. Infected worship frying pan. People infected with frying pan are reporting visions of rapture and a glorious new overlord species. Without a cure, life as we know will be over. Okay, how's the world doing? A lot of people are dying, which is strange. I wasn't expecting them to start dying. But we don't want to kill people, we want to make them more infected. So where have we got that isn't particularly infected? We can probably send them over to... Oh, there's actually no healthy people left in the world, so I don't even need to decide. The last healthy person on the planet recently became infected with frying pan. Frying pan enslaves humanity. The whole world worships frying pan as their golden master. Efforts to cure the plague have ceased and humanity is entering a dark new future as a slave species. It's like Stargate SG-1 all over again. So there we go, victory! Well, that was pretty damn good. We got 2 biohazard stars out of 3, took us 407 days and cure efforts only got to 37%. That was a good one. I enjoyed that. It was a bit easy. I think it's probably because none of these symptoms were particularly noticeable, so it took them a little while to realise that they were even infected with a worm. And then they ended up loving the worm. Everyone loves the worm. I love the worm. You love the worm. Anyway, this seems like a good place to end it. If you enjoyed the worm, please worm my worm. Worm. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, awkward worm. Worm, goodbye. Awkward.